Dimension style, the text tab. Let's go up into our annotate tab and go into our dimension panels. And let's go to our dimension style by picking this arrow in the lower right hand corner. Once we get there, I'm going to alter my mechanical inch style. So I'm going to hit modify. And let's pick on the text tab. It's the third tab in the dialog box. Our first section is text appearance. In the text appearance, I can pick which text style I want by hitting the down arrow. And so I can pick on any style I like. I can also go to the text picker button and it will open up my text style dialog box. And at this point I can create a new style, etc., make changes. So I want to match my typically the text style that we're using in our drawing for notes. I can also set the text color. I typically like to go by layer or by block. Either one will work. I don't like the absolute colors unless it's like red, which I will use for like danger or warning or caution or something like that. Overhead electrical, underground, fiber optics, etc. The fill color. The fill color I like is none, but I could also set it by layer, by block, or background, or any particular color, but generally it's usually none. The text height. The ASME recommends 1.2 for general notes, and they recommend 2.4 for titles and labels. So we want to set that typically to that number, 1.200. A lot of architectural companies will use 0.1250 an eighth inch. So since it is mechanical, we'll set that to 12. The fractional height scale, if this is set to an architectural units, then we can set the fractions. The fraction should be 1.0. In other words, we're making the text height the same as the letter height. If you set this less than 1, the fraction will be smaller, and that's not recommended. Many companies will actually use 0.70, 0.75, but the recommended size is 1.0. I can click this box to draw a basic frame around here. This is a basic dimension. A basic dimension is a theoretically perfect dimension. And so this is when we are telling someone this is the exact size you're trying to shoot for without tolerances. So that's a fairly unique situation. Down here in text placement, where do we place the text? Vertically, we can place it centered in the text. So right here we have it centered in the dimension line. When I say it's above the dimension line. So mechanical uses centered like such, and architectural uses above. All right. Outside is when we place it outside of our dimension line or extension line. So when we don't have enough room, it gets placed outside. We also have the JIS, which is the Japanese Industrial Standards, and it conforms to them, which is aligned. Essentially, it's aligned. And we also have below, which is not used very much at all. So since this is mechanical, we're going to go with centered. This is the standard for the mechanical folks. Horizontally, we have centered, which means left and right. So right now we're right in the middle. If I say add extension line 1, it shifts it over towards the first extension line. If I say add extension line 2, it shifts it over to the second extension line. Not used a lot, but also a little bit over the first extension line. So we place it up over the first extension line and over the second extension line. Hardly use that much at all. So for mechanical, the standard is centered for most companies. Our viewing direction is from left to right. We're reading the direction from left to right. We also go right to left, and so I'm reading it the other direction. This is not a common practice, right to left. It's left to right is the common practice. The offset from the dimension line is if the distance from the dimension line above or below the dimension line. And that is when we're using an architectural value, and that's typically 0.063 or 0.0625 is the standard value for there. Text alignment, this is the direction our dimension is placed. Mechanical uses horizontal. Now this is unidirectional when we use horizontal, so AutoCAD's term for unidirectional is horizontal. And the align dimension is for architects. The standard for architects is aligned. And also the standard ISO for Europe, for International Standards Organization, their standard is ISO. So since this is a mechanical style up here, a mechanical inch, I'm going to go with horizontal. So this has been the text tab of our dimension style dialog box.